Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2025 Pan American Mixed Endurance Series sponsored by S Hotel. We have GT3s and hypercars sharing the field, 6 intense rounds. And that is Jaden Harrison sizing up and moving now and moves to the inside, and there's contact. And we're off to a cool start. Omar Scorsio sitting in the slipstream, and it will be a drag race now down to Sunset Bend by turn 13. On the inside is that Cadillac, and this is the final lap. Ian Lance moves on the inside, and Brett moves on the outside and tries to make his move.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful round brought to you by the JSRA, folks. We're out here having a great time. Practice is already underway, and we're out here racing at the Circuit de la Sarthe. This is going to be an endurance event lasting 1 hour and 30 minutes long. This is round 5 on November 7th. The server is already open. The drivers have already begun their qualifying, or will begin their qualifying in just a few minutes time, and we have some lovely people in the booth with me. I'd like to go ahead and welcome, I believe that'll be Stephen Stewart in with me. No, he's not in with me, and Patrick Boyce was with me, but now I'm all by my lonesome. Looking at the qualifying that is about to get underway, let's start looking at the race details as the drivers head out on track. It'll be, of course, the GT3s first, and then the hypercars will get rolling shortly thereafter. We're going to talk about Circuit de la Sarthe for quite a bit of time, and actually the pit road exit light was red, preventing the drivers from going out on track. So the timer now officially ticking down. And we will, of course, talk about the championship details as well.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, I am joined by Stephen Stewart and Patrick Boyce actually in the call with me. Hello, gentlemen.
How are you? Good evening.
Good
Cigar, how are you, brother?
I
Good
am
evening,
living
man.
the dream. Nowhere else I'd rather be than watching cars race around the namesake of Le Mans Circuit de la Sarthe. This is going to be a humdinger of a time. 1 hour and 30 minutes on the clock, folks. Are you guys looking forward to it as well?
Absolutely.
100%.
We're in the practice servo over there, just said, and Patrick was just bringing a different vibe and energy. So we're just like, yo, Patrick, do you mind coming onto commentary to give us a hand? And brother was ready. So, yeah, this should be very fun.
Yes.
Awesome. Hopefully you guys can see what I see, and I believe we have the replay function working as well currently. So that should all be on the up and up. Let's talk about Circuit de la Sarthe. Do you guys know much about the track? Do you want me to take the lead and give some insight on the racetrack?
Go right ahead. Take the lead.
Alrighty, let's talk about it.
And I will be back in a moment. I am going to go into the racers room for the duration of qualifying, but at least you have a running partner.
Yes,
Patrick,
yes.
so please enjoy yourselves.
Yeah,
Sounds great. Thank you very much for joining me in the booth, Patrick. Well, let's talk about Circuit de la Sarthe. Circuit overview. It is also known as Le Mans. The Le Mans Sarthe, France is the location. Founded and first used in 1923 for the inaugural 24 hours of Le Mans, the 100-year race just taking place not that long ago. in 2023, the Centennial event. We're now into 2025, obviously, so we've breached the 100-year mark anniversary. Track length of 13.626 kilometers. I still don't know what a kilometer is, but it's 8.467 miles, or I don't know how many cheeseburgers that would be. That's a lot of cheeseburgers. Corners going to be 38. We've got 19 to the left, 19 to the right, with about 37.3 meters or 122 feet between the lowest and highest points around the track, despite it being very, very flat. The circuit is made of hybrid of public and permanent racing sections, the Mousseline Straight being the most famous of straights, actually being a public road. The permanent section includes the Dunlop Curve, the Dunlop Chicane, and the Porsche Curves. Public road sections includes Tete Rouge, Mousseline, Indianapolis, and Arnage. The Mousseline Straight was once a 6 kilometers long straightaway without the chicanes, and cars reached over 400 kph 250 miles before the FIA mandated chicanes in 1990 for safety. And of course, Le Mans is one of the Triple Crown events for motorsports alongside the Monaco GP and the Indy 500.
Wow. The track has a lot of history.
100 years of it, brother.
Yep.
And looking at the times that are trickling in, everybody's still on their outlap. This is going to be the official outlap for all drivers on the charge.
Yes.
And we'll
right
get
now,
this.
there's some drivers we're watching that seems were very consistent in practice, so let's see they keep the consistency during the race. KMR's Mr. Harrison, very good drivers. Very, very good drivers.
All of them are very good drivers indeed.
Yep.
Well equipped to handle anything that's thrown at them. That's for sure. The breed of drivers that is out here on track right now only gets 10 minutes for their qualifying run, so they know they got to get the hurry up and go on sooner rather than later. That being the most important thing, that they're only going to get about 2, maybe 3 cracks at it.
Yeah. But this track is a very fun track once you know what you're doing.
And of course, with the multi-class madness added to the mix of things, this is going to be very interesting to see all the drivers and how they fare through the Porsche curves. One of the most challenging parts of the circuit to overtake, with multi-class racing being involved. So it'll be very interesting to see how the drivers end up negotiating that. Have you seen a lot of traffic, Patrick, where the drivers have had to negotiate lap traffic or different classes?
Yes. It's very complicated because when the hypercars has to come through, sometimes a GT3 car might decide to hold its line. You know, his pride gets to the best of him, and everybody else gets banked up. So yeah, it happens in racing. You just have to negotiate the right angle, which direction to take, whether you slow down or you go through.
Very, very true. And of course, it being super challenging for the GT3s to hold on to their optimum line, as we see the driver there come through and just have a bit of a slip inside moment. And who are we looking at right now? Let's take a look very quickly. That'll be Phil Brown. Driver currently in first position. That's only because he's crossed the line first and foremost. Doesn't mean that he's actually in first position yet. Want to give a shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. Silver Turkey's back for the action. BTFKF rooting for Dotton. Shannon Dotton, of course, a favorite there. And Space Roach Entertainment says, who missed the breakpoint that bad? Not sure which one you're talking about. Let me know in the comments, and we'll try to get a replay of what you're talking about. Perhaps that was during the pre-race broadcast. And I might screw up the tower here. I need to make sure that my Stream Deck is working properly. In case you didn't know, or in case you own a Stream Deck, there was a major malfunction with Stream Decks this week that resulted in people not being able to use any plugins, unfortunately, from November 3rd to November 6th. So Stream Deck is finally up and operational. Make sure you update your Stream Decks via the marketplace, and you'll get right into the action, and everything should be working the way God intended. Phil Brown with a 401. Go ahead.
Robinson came and take it from him.
Yeah, with a 4-minute flat.
4-minute flat.
I expect those times to come down significantly over the next lap or so, though. Cesar Barahona comes across the line with a 404 for Ricardo Swoby. Cesar Barahona with that 403.2, 402.3 for DeVille Park. And Julian Narcisse with a 406.7. Like I said, expect these times to come down pretty substantially.
Yes. So, Cigar, which car is your favorite? Do you like the BMW? Do you like the Mercedes? Which cars gets you hyped?
I'm actually a Lexus man. So
Okay.
with the Lexus just coming over to Le Mans Ultimate recently, it's been one of my favorite cars to watch go around the racetrack. I'm a Lexus fan through and through, from IMSA and the Vaster Sullivan team to the Akotis ASP team out in WEC currently running. I'm a Lexus fan for the new generation that will be coming out in 2027. I love Lexus so much and Toyotas that I've named my dog Lexus Toyota Bakshi.
Wow.
I kid you not, because we all know inside of a Lexus is really just a Toyota motor.
Toyota, correct.
So her full name is Lexus Toyota Bakshi. That's my dog's name, and I absolutely love her to death.
Amazing.
Yes, I am a Lexus man through and through. Front engine V8 power all the way, and hoping to see more success from the Lexus team in IMSA coming up in the next season. Of course, we just had the Petit Le Mans with the podium being given to the Lexus Vaster Sullivan team. No spoilers, though, because I haven't seen the VOD back yet, but I know that the Lexus team did pretty well for themselves, and I'm seeing... Go ahead.
Since you're saying Lexus, there's one guy I know is running a Lexus right now. Can you switch the camera to him, Mr. Harrison?
That's the killer himself, Mr. Jaden Harrison. Who's not had a great run of things so far in this championship. Very unlucky turn of events, but did bring home P1 back at Interlagos just 1 week ago to gain a big haul of points. So let's talk about the championship standings since you brought it up. Currently, it's Cesar Barahona with 43 points to his name out in P1, but took 2 DNSs so far during round 2 and round 4. That will definitely hurt him going into the final round of the season. Kurt Moss with P2 to his name with 35 points attached to his placard. Of course, that is with a drop round applied. Casey Jackman in third place, driving the Aston Martin Vantage. That is 34 points there. Mission Wallace in fourth place, Rohi Robinson in fifth, Jaden Harrison in sixth position. Really not a great result for him. 20th, 19th, 8th, and then a win during round 4, finally getting the justice that he deserves. Nathan Bryan in 7th, Rohan Harris in 8th, Shannon Dotton in 9th, Ricardo Swoby in 10th, Vicente de la Silva in 11th, Kaimani Eastman in 12th, Phil Brown in 13th, Julian Arce in 14th, Ramiro Dominguez, Roger Keller.
Lexus, sorry for cutting you, but Lexus has done it so far. 3 minutes 59 seconds. That's a beautiful time.
And
Great
that
push.
will conclude the qualifying run for the GT3 drivers. Great push lap indeed, getting it done at the final opportunity of asking.
Yes, Brung has gone up. Gone past Robinson. Moss has done well. All the drivers has pushed and applied themselves so far. That's amazing.
They sure have. Let's look at that GT3 order on the left-hand side of your screen. You have Harrison, Brown, Robinson, Moss, Park, Barahona, Dotton, Swoby, Dyer, Rodriguez, Narcé, and Titus De Silva, Harris, Eastman, Chieri, Keller, Bryan, Wallace, and Martin, rounding out the 25 drivers. But we really only have 14 drivers out on track currently in the GT3 category. In the hypercar category, we're going to have 12 drivers. Michael Charles leads the charge in front of Miguel Betran, Cam Mora, Omar Escorcia, Daniel Velez, Andreas Quevedo, Danitos Garcia, Carl Eaton, Javier Brando, Bruce Pina, Ian Lance, and Raven Plummer. As we switch the tower over to the hypercar category,
I love the song to the hypercars when it comes from battery to engine, from motor to engine, electric motor to engine. This song's amazing.
absolutely, especially when you hear them coming down pit road as well, and just hear that motor fire up for the very first time and erupt with combustion. Right now we are looking at Michael Charles. So Silver Turkey mentions that Jaden Harrison also started in the hypercar and switched it up to the GT3 category. Very interesting. And Silver Turkey also asks, why are so many in the pit still? I believe those are the registered drivers for the championship and perhaps are taking DNSs for this event. So they did not include their registration as a drop round, so they are still considered registered for the event and will take DNSs for the sequence of events, such as Bruce Pina, Ian Lance, and Raven Plummer, who are not on track currently, I believe, are registered for the event, but will take DNSs for the event. That leaves just 9 hypercars out on track currently running.
Yeah. It's good to know Cadillac has been dominant in endurance. Now they're going to soon be in F1. That's great news.
It sure is great news. I hear the Cadillac team moving their way into F1 for 2027. They're looking forward to it, I'm very sure. And they put out a lot of promotions as well on YouTube regarding their entry to Formula One and how that's worked out, their engineering and such, and how much it's all come together over the past year or so since their entry has become confirmed. And it's going to be an exciting era of motorsports come 2027, I believe, with a lot of new changes coming out in regulations, such as Formula One changing up in regulations, allowing the opportunity for Cadillac to get involved. Of course, Lexus making a change in the GT3 category, getting rid of a decade-old long Lexus machinery, the RCF, and moving over to something a little bit more Toyota-based. This is going to be a very interesting time in motorsports with all the regulation changes that are coming out, and speculation that WEC might change some of their regulations as well.
Three minutes, 25 seconds for Charles as he push. Ooh, 3 minute 24.
3:24 for Omar Escorcia. Turn on the qualifying information there. 3:24.977 is the target time to beat Michael Charles. In P2, Miguel Betran. In P3, Cam Mora. In P4, Daniel Velez. In P5, Danitos Garcia. In 6th, Javier Brando. In 7th, Andres Cavido. In 8th, and Carl Eaton in 9th position currently. I believe Daniel Velez might actually have a purple sector 1. He does have a purple sector 1, only by a 10th though, or less than 1/10 of a second. Now, as a driver, how much do these 10ths mean to you getting through sector by sector when you're talking about a 3.5 minute lap around Circuit de la Sarthe?
Well, as a driver, that's a big difference. As small as it is, it's very huge, because if you keep consistent with that time, you can keep bringing down the time. So in qualifying especially, that time is very important. In a main race, that is a plus also, because if you keep consistent with that time and keep getting lower, you can be ahead, or if you're ahead, you can hold your position ahead or within the podium position, either for second or third. So those small increments of time plays a big role on a track this large. So yeah, it's very important.
Very important indeed. Thank you very much. As you said, time brings time. Daniel Velez, purple sector 1 and purple sector 2 even. There we go. He is carrying the speed and momentum from one sector into the next, gaining even more time as he moves through the lap. Now the opportunity presents itself to get into sector 3, but we do have a caution out currently somewhere on track. Look at how close it is currently between Omar Escorcia and Michael Charles. Just 62 thousandths of a second separate P1 and P2 across a 24-second lap. Looking forward at this race, I'm curious to see how the drivers manage the fuel and their tires for the duration of this 1 hour, 30-minute event. Some might go for a single stop, trying to conserve fuel and virtual energy to make it to the very end, and other drivers might actually go for a two-stop strategy and continue to push hard. Daniel Velez loses time through sector 2 actually.
He loses by a lot.
And that won't even be a personal best for him as qualifying comes to a close. Daniel Velez crosses the line. Good enough for third position though.
Third position. Amazing.
Gap now nearly 4.5 tenths of a second. Michael Charles jumps up into P1, currently running that 3:24.772 in front of Omar Escorcia, Daniel Velez, Miguel Betran, Cam Mora, and Javier Brando, the last driver to cross the line, will bring it home in 7th place. Andres Cavido and Carl Eaton in 9th position.
That was a beautiful qualifying.
Sure
Quick.
was. Went by very quickly indeed. Let's see if we can pull up the session results. Let's start with the GT3s. Top 10 in the GT3s, it'll be Jaden Harrison with a 3:59.4. Phil Brown, 7/10 back in P2. Rohei Robinson in P3, K. Moss in 4th, DeVille Park in 5th, Cesar Barahona in 6th, Shannon Doughton in 7th, Ricardo Swoby in 8th, Rich Dyer in 9th, and Sebastian Rodriguez in 10th position. Why don't you go ahead and take over for the hypercar category?
All right, put it on the screen. Let me see what. I ain't see it on the screen.
Should be on the screen share.
Yeah, that's there. Sorry about that. So we have Michael Charles with 3:24. We have Omar Can you help me pronounce his last name? I don't want to butcher his name.
Escorcia.
Escorcia. We have Daniel Velez. We have Miguel Pitron. Is it Bitron?
Betran.
Okay, we have Camora. We have, what's his first name? I'm not good with the Spanish.
Ganitos.
Okay, Garcia. We have, is that a Xavier?
Javier Brando.
Javier Brando. All right, we have 100. What's his last name?
Brando.
No, the next guy, number 8.
Quevedo.
Covido. Okay. And we have Mr. Carril. I'm getting new to you guys' names, so don't butcher me. See with me, please. Can you pronounce number 9 name, please?
Carl Eaton.
Good. And number 10 is Bruce
Pina.
Pina. Okay. So far, Bruce Pina hasn't qualified, but he's in the race, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, Bruce Pina, excuse me, is not in the race, as Bruce is actually Silver Turkey, and he is not in the race currently.
Okay. Sorry, guys, for butchering your names. Well, I'll get it for next time. Don't worry. All right. So far, they're looking good. It's now time for the race. So consistency. That's what I advise. Consistency is key. Stay at it. Keep at it. Who are the drivers you're looking at to push or to be at the top? Cigar.
I'm really looking at K-Moss currently. K-Moss is qualified in 4th position in class currently. But that driver I've known for a very long time. The driver has been a part of leagues such as Plebeian Racing, was on Sim Racing System. K-Moss has been around for at least 5 years, if not longer, in sim racing than I've been around in sim racing. A name that has been a staple of some of the faster guys in the grid, but more importantly, one of the most consistent drivers I've ever come across. Barring any mistakes from him, really, or mistakes that occur around him, I expect his race to go successfully. We've seen at Sebring, K-Moss has been able to pull out great leaps and bounds and get out into the front of a pack when he's not involved in an incident. Jaden Harrison, on the other hand, was involved in an incident and was unable to recover from that race. So it really can go both ways. If Jaden Harrison gets a breakaway, the race is always his. But K-Moss, on the other hand, can really just bring it home on consistency alone.
Yeah. Okay. 2 drivers I'm watching, I think can pull off for the hyper is Charles and Velez. Those 2 guys are very consistent, very quick. They find time that are very hard to find. I don't know how they find it, but they find the limit of most corners on the track. For the GT3, I'm watching at Harrison, and I'm watching at Mr. Moss as well. Moss seems very quick with his GT3 car, with his car that he drives. So those are the 4, 2 from each, that I'm watching currently.
Silver Turkey says, we are hearing the chat in the broadcast. Which chat are you hearing? Well, we're about to go green, folks. Get ready, buckle in, grab the popcorn. And we are ready to get rolling in just a few moments' time. Green, away we go. Leading down towards corner number 1, it's going to be 3 wide in the hypercar category. And further back, it's going to be a little bit spicy for the drivers running in 5th, 6th, and 7th. And there was an Aston Martin going completely off the track. I believe that might be Daniel Velez, who leaped across the racetrack, gained a whole bunch of positions, And we'll have to give some of those back. No, not Daniel Velez. That's Miguel Betran, excuse me. And off goes the Toyota next to the Cadillac in 5th position. That's Cam Mora getting a little argy-bargy, elbows out racing. And it's going to be a drag coming down the Mulsanne straight and leading down into corner number 5. Checking in with the GT3 category very quickly. Jaden Harrison, Rohei Robinson, and DeVille Park all running 1, 2, 3 currently, with Phil Brown in 4th position, K Moss in 5th, Cesar Barahona in 6th.
Yes, and that Lexus is stretching his legs early. Oh no! Someone hit the wall. Someone hit the wall there for a sec.
Someone hit the wall, super unfortunate there. And we are having a small technical issue. Let me verify that everything is up and running here on my end. There we go, the screen share back up and running. Jaden Harrison, DeVille Park now into P2. Phil Brown in 3rd position. K Moss still rocking in P4. Up ahead, it's Omar Escorcia in P2 in the hypercar category. Behind Mikael Charles, Daniel Velez in 3rd position. Miguel Betran in 4th. Cam Mora in 5th.
And for those who are watching, remember this race is 1 hour and 30 minutes. So some drivers might push early, so they'll try to conserve, and the fuel will try to use strategy so they can use it later on to come to front. So action is not as yet.
Now I'm hearing someone's onboard engine in the broadcast too, you say, Silver Turkey. There shouldn't be any. I'm hearing it pretty clearly. Let me know if you still hear it. Made some modifications to Discord. Thank you for letting me know, Silver Turkey, but there shouldn't be any major issues. K Moss leapfrogs his way up into P2. Phil Brown and DeVille Park coming through the Porsche curves, going side by side. Currently, Aston Martin on AMG, and a little checkup onto the brakes from Phil Brown. That's really not where you want to lose momentum. He could be under attack from Cesar Barahona, the driver in the lead of this championship right now, but potentially not for long. Vicente de la Silva, the only Lamborghini driver on the grid, chasing down Rich Dyer currently, running in front of him.
What you call there, a lone soldier?
Trying to go the long way around the outside isn't going to work going into corner number 1. How about through the first chicane? Will he go for an attacking move? No, he even backs off there. Let's check back in with Omar Escorcia running at the front of the grid, only 2 tenths behind Mikael Charles, and Daniel Velez trailing behind as well. Patrick, you don't have anybody's, you don't have Le Mans Ultimate open, do you?
I just paused it so you don't get the audio. I think the problem with my audio, I was watching the race, and I think my audio is what they were hearing. But I paused it so that I don't think they would hear anything now.
Copy that. Thank you very much. On the opening lap, things were pretty hot and heavy. Omar Escorcia in second place behind Mikel Charles. Now things are settling into a little bit of a groove. The three front runners are on a breakaway run currently. 1, 2, and 3 looking back. Cam Morris trying to get around Miguel Betran currently and catch up with that leading trio. I think he believes he has better pace, goes over the curbing, down the straightaway, even mounting it a little bit, trying to be a little bit more aggressive before we get down to Indianapolis corner. He's looking for the inside line.
He got shut down. That was very close.
Very close to making another move now.
And he got it. That Cadillac is very fast. Has a good pace. And he's to the front. Ooh, a little hit. But he's to the front. He's in 4th. And his pace is increasing. Wow.
Silver Turkey had another video open in his browser. What a guy. What a guy. Making me think I had technical issues on my end. I'm looking at OBS like a goblin right now, digging into my sources, trying to figure out what's going wrong here. But no, it's just another video he's watching in the background. And in the background, Daniel Velez and Miguel Betran and Cam Moore invert their positions while we were dealing with those technical issues. More importantly, Kane Moss separated by Jaden Harrison by 5.3 seconds currently. It has opened up quite a bit, almost a gap that cannot be shut down. Looking further down the order in the GT category, Matt Titus chasing down Rich Dyer currently in the McLaren versus BMW category. Coming down the straightaway, Matt Titus gets one along the inside, but we all know that the inside line turns into the outside for the following corner. Matt Titus actually carries the speed into Indy very well and closes it down and actually escapes with his life. Rich Dyer now under threat from Sebastian Rodriguez from behind. And Sebastian is way off track, trying to carry as much speed as he can out of the Porsche curves, loses a position to Roger Keller, who's now sandwiched in between himself and Rich Dyer.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
We hear you loud and clear. Big mistake for Omar Escorcia as he fell back. Did nearly 1 second of a gap, but Mikel Charles also makes a brutal mistake. The gap closes back down to 0.3 of a second, separating Mikel Charles from Omar Escorcia.
That battle cigar looks absolutely epic. 4P1. Daniel Velez only 1.5 seconds off of Mikel Charles, so maybe he's even using the two in front of him as somewhat of a buffer or a strategy call. Could it be? Your thoughts?
I think Daniel Velez is pushing a little bit harder than he possibly needs to try to keep in touch with the drivers in front. The strategy that he's on will have to be the same as the drivers in front. However, looking back at Cam Moore, Miguel Betran, and Javier Brando, they're conserving enough pace right now in that back half category to potentially make this a single stop endurance event.
Ooh. And that's where it's going to get interesting. The pit stops, I think, is what's going to make this race, as a matter of fact, as we've seen so much in the past in Le Mans. And whoo, was that Miguel lost control of his car and is now in the, well, looked like he was near to the wall, but got out of it unscathed. drops down to P9. Those hard tires not looking so promising here.
Miguel Betran currently running in P9, having a mistake through the Porsche curves, potentially some liftoff oversteer as he came through, potentially washing out from the car in front. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened to Miguel Betran, and we'll be ready to go when you are.
I'm gonna try my best. However, sadly, I am still having some internet issues, so let's see how it goes. But I will have the replay up and running in a moment's time for you to use to the best of your disposal. But yeah, your thoughts on the hard tires? He's the only driver on track right now. Majority on mediums, and then one other driver on soft tires. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the driver that took hard tires is obviously going for a single stop race. The driver on softs going for a 2-stop race guaranteed. And the rest of the field on medium tires trying to split the difference currently and find out what the rest of the field is doing. I think the drivers on mediums are perhaps the quicker drivers on the field. Mikel Charles, Omar Escarcia, and Daniel Velez currently. And they might be on the right strategy call, depending on where they come down pit lane, or more importantly, when they come down pit lane, as we're just about 12 minutes into this 1 hour and 30-minute event.
That's going to be where the interesting part comes, because, again, the only person that was on hard tires is the one who ended up spinning out by the Porsche curve. So that's going to leave a little bit of room to his strategy. Wherever he thought that could have worked out for him. The soft tire boy, I have no suggestions for that one. I thought they were going to use it for qualifying, and that would have been it. So very surprising to say the least. But yeah, I am going to try and share my screen now from Discord. Hopefully that will work instead of using video.
Unfortunately, that will not work. Video Ninja has to be the way that we do it.
Got you. All right, let's try that out in a minute.
How is it looking on the GT3 side?
GT3 side is pretty quiet. Drivers coming up on lap traffic right now. I believe that'll be Rohei Robinson that they just got by. Yes, that is Rohei Robinson that they just got by. So the first of the back markers getting crossed up right now. Mikel Charles, Omar Escorcia separated by 2 and a bit seconds. Daniel Velez actually caught back up to Omar Escorcia thanks to that traffic as well. So this Aston Martin being the front runner of the Aston Martin Valkyries on the racetrack, behind a Ferrari and behind, the Aston Martin Valkyrie is actually in P1 of this event.
Yes, it is.
Alright, Sugar, I'm not sure if it's going to work for you, but you can try it and let me know when to go with the instant replay.
Go ahead and press play.
Alright, please tell me if it's playing.
It is playing. I am seeing someone cross the line in an Aston Martin, though.
So this is Miguel, and as you said, we're going through Porsche curves in a moment, and you're gonna see him. He literally, it looks, as you said, like that liftoff oversteer, and there he goes, spinning and crooning. Did save it from the wall, thankfully, but you know those hard tires are flat spotted at this moment. Drop from 5th to 9th.
I'm actually on board with an Aston Martin in the replay footage, passing Rohei Robinson currently, so I don't think we're looking at the same Video Ninja link.
Oh, it's actually two different videos actually.
Okay.
So the one at the top right that the viewers are watching, I think that is Mr. Charles there, but the video that we really want to see is not currently on the screen.
Correct. Let me push again.
Yes, that's it.
Here we go. Now we have the replay.
Epic. So I'm guessing you can see the likes of Miguel right here. Was trying to follow and just lost the rear. Had a little bit of a rear lockup as well based on that point of view. Lost the drop from 5th to 9th.
Copy that. Thank you very much for that replay.
Well, with that working out, I will let you know when the next highlights are available because we had quite a few in the beginning. Hopefully we can get to show the viewers in a moment's time.
If you can pull up a replay of the GT3 start, that would be absolutely fantastic.
So we'll get that started for you in a moment's time.
Because things have quieted down here in the GT category. Daniel Velez does make it up into P2 around Omar Escorcia, the Ferrari.
Was that based off of an overtake or was that a fault of Omar?
I must have missed it. Silver Turkey is the one that caught it in the chat while we were looking at the replay or dealing with replay issues. So, unbeknownst to me.
Well, we can pull that up in a moment's time as well. But when you're ready for the replay for the GT3 start, please let me know and we can get that rolling.
Ready to go? Go ahead and press play.
And this is Jaden Harrison there with in the Lexus. I believe that is Phil Brown and Rohey Robinson in P2 and P3. DeVille Park as well. He was one of those that did get a jump on Phil Brown to start. We've seen DeVille in the past with some brilliant qualifying sessions. Way better than what we've seen with him in Assetto Corsa. See, he's found quite a footing here in Assetto Corsa. I mean, in Le Mans Ultimate, my apologies. Kurt Moss himself was trying his best as well to see if he could have made a move on the likes of Phil Brown in front of him. DeVille Park, though, was the one who was to be watched. He was attacking the likes of Rohey Robinson for the beginning. Made a move up on Phil Brown to move up into P3 onto the final podium step. And that was a beginning to a very dramatic start.
Is there a car stuck on the track by chance?
Well, Antarctica.
Actually, no. My bad.
Currently, the running order in the hypercar category is Michael Charles, Daniel Velez, Omar Escorcia, Cam Mora, Javier Brando will round out the top 5. Carl Eaton in 6th place. Behind is going to be Danilos Garcia, Andres Guevido in 8th position with Miguel Betran in 9th place. Coming through the GT3s right now are the front runners of the category, and lap traffic giveth. Lap traffic definitely taketh away from Omar Escorcia on that exit as the McLaren got a little squirrely, dipping a couple wheels off into the gravel and sending Omar Escorcia in an evasive maneuver there. That will really challenge him, and it looks like Silver Turkey says it was a mistake from Omar Escorcia that allowed Daniel Velez to go by just one lap ago.
That's been at 326.474. P3 and Daniel Velez only a 10th down on that. But Omar Escorcia, who's only 4/10 off of Michael Charles, he's 2 seconds slow on his best lap. Is this his strategy working for him?
Perhaps it is, but the virtual energy that we were just looking at a moment ago wasn't quite dictating that he was saving a ton of fuel, going that much slower. Perhaps that mistake on that second lap is really what cost him there, but now he's glued all over the rear end of Daniel Velez, and he's only 4/10 back currently, so within attacking range once GT traffic gets involved as well.
This looks amazing because this is a stiff fight for second place currently, thanks to the GT3 traffic being in the way. There's a chance for this guy in a Ferrari to come past Mr. Velez.
Yeah, and there you see him looking on the inside. That inside will become the outside, but still, that's going to be the move done for Omar. And Mikhail concedes that position. Mikhail knows that Omar is his biggest adversary for the series as well. So this is going to be some very entertaining moments now, folks. And Daniel Velez as well, just licking his lips as he waits for his moment as well to shine in the next few moments.
Omar Escorcia still trailing Daniel Velez, coming down the Mulsanne straight, biding his time, no traffic in front. That will be the driver of Vicente da Silva in the Lamborghini. You can tell him a mile away by that Gulf livery that he's sporting, but no traffic getting in the way at the first chicane. And traffic may come up during the second chicane. Vicente da Silva in 7th position, 16th overall. So we are catching up to the GT3 leaders. Silver Turkey says, I don't think that Ferrari has the top speed like the Valkyries. It definitely shows coming down the Mulsanne straight that he doesn't have the top speed, even with the slipstream, to be able to catch up to one of these Valkyries. Mikhail Charles is running out in P1. Top speed is down on his competitors currently by a couple kph.
The Valkyries are very fast because now that Velez has a good drive with no traffic, the gap is increasing.
By the way, guys, I will apologize. I was watching based off of the replay and we were not live. So that moment of excitement was on my behalf. I'm apologizing. That was my, yeah. So please excuse me.
Oh, that's close. The GT3 traffic really brings those hypercars close to each other.
Yeah. Whoa! And the 51 has to take to the red stripe there, trying to get through on the GT3 field that was just maintaining its current course of action. Left barely enough room to fit a hypercar there. But the Omar Escorcia is the driver able to squeeze right on through. '51 trying to find a way by, coming down in towards the 4 chicane. Looks to the inside line, bobs and weaves under braking, trying to find any opportunity. A lick of the stamp wasn't going to work there, so he backs out of it, but knows he's faster coming through the Porsche curves with the extra downforce that he has applied to that Ferrari. Now he's getting set up for corner number 1 and heading down into Dunlop. This will be his only opportunity to make a move before we get down to the straightaways, where we understand that he's a little bit slower on top speed, but there goes a huge mistake from the Valkyrie and having to take a big slowdown right now. Omar Escorcia is going to find his way through, but for how long will this last?
And Omar shuts it down. In the lead. He's in second place actually.
Look at the Valkyries, top speed,
Wow.
catching up in a straight line with the slipstream to boot, just closing down that gap ever so slightly. Daniel Velez driving the wheels off of that Aston Martin, half a second back currently, but you can see the gap coming down ever so slightly, inch by inch, quarter mile by quarter mile. Daniel Velez already at 331 compared to Omar Escorcia's 226 kph coming into the braking zone of the second chicane. That goes to show you how much slower that Ferrari is in a straight line.
Stigar, you see what I'm seeing? You see how the gap is very close between Omar and Charles? The gap is getting closer.
The gap is slinking back and forth, now down to 2.4 seconds on that previous lap. Omar Escorcia going wheel to wheel with Daniel Velez coming down this straightaway, leading down in towards Indy. The 51 loses out very quickly. The 51 steps out of line, trying to get out of the turbulent air of Daniel Velez. Has to slot in behind anyways for Indy. Bit of a wiggle for the Aston Martin on exit there. This might give Omar Escorcia the run he needs coming through the Porsche curves and into the Ford chicane potentially. But he's got to maintain the speed coming through those Porsche curves. Obviously something different with the way that Omar has set up his car versus Daniel Velez and Michael Charles. I think Omar was worried about getting through the Porsche curves and GT3 traffic, while the Valkyries were worried about straight line speed. Let's go trackside with some of the GT3s. This is Rohan Harris chasing down Julian Narcé as the number 7 comes through. Excuse me, that number 8 Toyota comes through. That's the 8th place car of Danitos Garcia, trying to find their way through the GT3 field.
And that's Phil Brown there, sitting right there, waiting on a moment to shine. Phil Brown, we saw him with pace last week. He's rapid, the American driver.
Phil Brown
missed out.
Is a good driver, the American, trying to find a way by Rohan Harris. Rohan Harris almost yielding that position to the Mercedes AMG and allowing that one to happen very easily going into the Ford chicane.
Yeah, it was almost like you just said, you know, go ahead, have some fun. Maybe, you know, if it comes to somewhat of a torpedo, maybe there comes with some contact sooner than later. Or maybe just saw that he had more pace. Because there you see even Julian there just allows Phil Brown through. So I guess it's just a moment of saying, hey, this is not my battle, go ahead. Both of them conceding it quickly and allowing Phil Brown not to lose any time. That's quite nice, the two, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, A bit interesting there. Phil Brown definitely showing that he has the pace. Get by Julian Arce and Rohan Harris. Two cars getting by in just a handful of corners. Very well executed by Phil Brown, the American driver running in this league currently. Jaden Harris leads over K Moss by 8.4 seconds. The gap 2.5 seconds over fast laps between Jaden Harris and Kurt Moss currently.
The Jamaican in DeVille Park, who's been hunted by the championship leader for the GT3 class in Cesar Barahona. The Panamanian just seeking down as they head down the Mosin straight to the first chicane. Let's see what he can do. He didn't start in the top 5 and has now found himself in the top 4, looking at the podium spot right behind the Jamaican in DeVille Park. So that should be interesting to watch.
Side by side between Rohan Harris and Julian Arce, but Julian backs out of that one, allows Rohan Harris right on through. This will be another Lamborghini, actually. So there's 2 of them on the racetrack. Just can't tell by the women in driving livery. It's almost surreal to see the Iron Dames car. I almost said the Iron Lynx, but no, this is the Iron Dames car out on track. And the second one will be Vicente da Silva in 7th place, 16th place overall. Vicente's fast lap being a 4:03.2. He's 3.8 behind Ricardo Swoby. Has a lot of work to do to catch back up. Rohan Harris challenged now by Julian. They're going to go side by side, leading down into the kink right before Indy. And Phil Brown is escaping with his life currently up the road by a couple of seconds now. Rohan Harris falls back behind Julian, or does Julian fall back behind Rohan Harris, who goes a little bit deep at Indianapolis? And Julian finds a way through, driving the neat and tidy line. The 85 deep again after Indianapolis, and may have overcooked the brakes a little bit.
And that's bringing, who's that in the background? Is that
Casey Jackman?
Ooh. So he who did not get a qualifying session now getting the opportunity to see the likes of these 2 in front, maybe trying to see if he can gain some points. He is in the top 3 in the championship, is Casey.
Casey Jackman with a 4th place in round number 1, 2nd place for round 2, 6th place for round number 3, and 2nd place for round number 4 at Interlagos. Currently running in 12th position around the Circuit de la Sarthe. Has a lot of ground to make up should they want to get a good haul points and remain in the championship contention.
Absolutely.
Looks like the battle between Julian Arce and Rohan Harris isn't quite done yet. Rohan Harris 2 seconds faster on that lap alone than Julian was.
And I'm just gonna bring you up to date as well on that battle between Cesar and DeVille. Not sure if you want to put that as a mini cam, like a battle cam, but they are now 6/10 between the 2. So that's going to be interesting to watch here in a little bit over 30 minutes into the race, 35 minutes. But Cesar closing in lap after lap on DeVille Park. That's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Top right-hand side of your screen is going to be the battle between DeVille Park and Cesar Barahona. Barahona trails DeVille Park. Battle for 3rd position there. Well, this is the battle for 11th and 12th on the main screen between Rohan Harris and Julian Arce.
So with 35 minutes gone now, guys, what are your thoughts so far on the drivers? Ooh, as we'd noticed, Ron there just sitting in the slipstream, looking to see if he can make a move. Julian there goes defensive, but will that be enough? It seems like it will be.
One thing I do know is that very soon, very shortly, some people will be entering the pits. I see some vehicles seeming slow. They're not getting enough grip. Some are slipping, some are sliding. So very soon the pit will be filled with people trying to utilize their strategies.
And just a quick point of emphasis as well, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick will be joining us on track next week, so enjoy him while you have him. We will have him in on the final round at Silverstone, making his debut here at the JSRA, so that should be fun. So at least you get a little bit of an insight here this evening with him, the Guyanese driver. But he was absolute comedy in the driver briefing in the practice session, so glad to have him on board.
Yes. I know everyone is serious, but you know, it's nice to know that you can enjoy yourself, you know, a nice Friday night drive. The podium.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I know I'll enjoy the Friday night drive, however, the podium might be a little bit out of reach. But this battle continues on between Rohan and Julian. Hopefully we'll see Patrick there fighting for the podium next week as well.
Hopefully. Hopefully I fight enough to stay within the top 5. I'm gonna try my best.
There we go. Looking forward to it, brother.
I'm watching here and I'm seeing that Mr. Harrison has a 8-second lead. Is that an 8-second or a
12-second lead now?
Wow. Talk about
Max
consistency.
Verstappen-esque of a drive here tonight for the Jamaican. Started in the hypercars actually, switched over to the GT3s. Clearly has found his footing here.
Clearly has, with a 12-second lead after just a handful of laps around Circuit de la Sarthe. The driver is doing a great thing out on track, being able to maintain his pace and his consistency lap after lap. That fast lap being a 4-minute flat, 4-minute 2:68 basically.
As I'm here, I'm trying to pick. I'm trying to think about a strategy that he might be working. He might be trying to pull off from Max Verstappen. Open the gap wide enough so that once you pit and you're out, you're still in the lead. So let's see what happens.
With such a long pit lane at the Circuit de la Sarthe, I don't think that will be possible. I think he would need at least 50 seconds or so of a gap. So a little bit challenging for him to do that and take fuel and or tires for this event, but perhaps he will be able to do so in the future. If he can do it at any track, the Circuit de la Sarthe is definitely one to try to do it at.
And I just want to bring a quick emphasis to the battle going on in P8 and P9 between Carol Aiton and Danito's Daniel Garcia. Carol there, he did make a Brazil livery for last week's race and is representing in it again this week. And he just made what a move on Daniel. And these two have been fighting it out for the lap, well, this lap in its entirety. They've been trading places, but
that was close there for the Toyota.
Yeah, this has been quite a battle. So we'll continue to monitor that. Headed back to Cesar Barahona versus DeVille Park. Cesar still hasn't gotten any leeway on him. Ron Harris as well, only 2/10 down on Julian Narcisse. So that's going to continue to watch. Carroll hit the curb So that's going to give Daniel quite a better run here, as you see they're just sitting in that slipstream. Trying to see where they can go. But Javier Brandão and Andres Quevedo now in the pits.
Side by side between Carol Eaton and Danilos Garcia. A little bit of a mistake going under the bridge at the Dunlop chicane. Carol Eaton in the number 8 Toyota, able to make his way by. Carl Eaton driving the Brazilian liveried 354.
Oh no, Mr. Rodriguez made a mistake there, went too wide.
Side by side down the Mulsanne straight, separated by nearly nothing on the racetrack. The Valkyrie shows that it's got the legs to get by the Toyotas in a straight line as well.
Currently there's two GT3 cars entering the pits. The silver and what's his name with the gold, black and green BMW.
Oh, Mr. Ricardo Swaby.
Lots of pit stop calls for the GT3s. Vicente da Silva, K. Moss, DeVille Clark, Ricardo Swaby, Jaden Harrison, Shannon Dotton, and Matt Titus are all down pit lane. Cesar Barahona stays out for an additional lap now.
Jaden already leaving the pits though. So that was a very quick pit stop, if I do say so myself. Comes out in P3 right behind Phil Brown. So Jaden's strategy looking quite positive here, if I do say so myself. Cesar Barahona will be the one that we will be watching, currently sitting atop the GT3 class in that BMW GT3. He himself has been rapid all season. Had a little incident in round 1 with the hypercar Lido. Missed round 2, came back for round 3 and 4. But he himself, that's at pace. He's one that we should watch to see if he can overcut the likes of Jaden Harrison. Do you think it's possible? It's very unlikely, but maybe he can get into the podium spot.
And Cam Moore getting checked up in the pit lane by a GT3 car, unable to approach his pit box. That's going to lead to an even bigger gap between himself and Omar Escorcia, who's rolling out of pit lane right now. And where is Mikel Charles out on the racetrack? Mikel Charles, I believe, stayed out. No, he did take a pit stop already, excuse me. So Mikel Charles re-inherits the lead of the race. Daniel Velez in P2, Omar Escorcia into P3. Cam Mora down into P4, still sitting in the box apparently. Now finally rolling out of pit lane in P5 provisionally.
So from the look, yes.
Sorry, Patrick. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I was saying is, on the look of things, Harrison did a smart move because P1 and P2 haven't entered the pits yet. So I mean, there is time, but you know, with Harrison's consistency, not pitting same time or shortly after, can widen the gap tremendously.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see where Cesar will come out, because he's trying to overcut the likes of DeVille Park. So even if he comes out behind, he will have fresher tires. So that's where it's going to get interesting with 45 minutes remaining. Jaden himself, I believe that 12-second gap gave him enough of a buffer. So I wouldn't be surprised if even Jaden changed tires. Because it's not mandatory, but I mean, at this point, why not? As you see him pulling up right behind Phil Brown, But Jaden himself should have quite a comfortable buffer here just to take his time and just fight. If no one in front of him did change the tires, then he will have the advantage, especially in the latter stages of the race. And if they are in front of him after the pit, that would be because they didn't change tires. So yeah, that's where it's going to get interesting. But Jaden right now controlling this race has had consistency, as they call it, has the fastest lap by about 3 seconds. 4 minutes was his fastest time in the race itself, which supersedes even his qualifying lap, if I do remember correctly, 4 minutes 268. So Jaden here is enjoying himself. He's having a blast in that Lexus.
The Lexus is cooking.
It's cooking. Some rice and peas and jerky.
Yes. Steamy. As you can see now, Harrison is in second place currently because so Mr. Brown, Mr. Brown now has to decide what he'll do.
Absolutely, and Cesar does come out ahead of the Bill Park. So the overcut has worked. He comes out in P3.
Yeah.
So Phil Brown, the only one who hasn't pitted as yet from the GT3 class.
You think he might do the impossible?
Well, I think that would be stretching it a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. With 43 minutes left.
43 minutes with no new tires and a low amount of fuel. Nah.
He's gonna need fuel. I believe he might be coming in on, if not this lap, the next. I don't think he can even extend it to the next lap, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes.
His tires is not giving him the time of day at all.
Well, there you see Jaden literally just pushing him, going up the Mulsanne straight. So there you see Jaden taking a look on the inside now. Sends a dummy, but again, no need to rush right now. It's just you have the pace. You know he has to pit. Just use him for even some fuel saving at this point. Stick in that slipstream, especially on these straights, and do a little bit of Lyco, and it will just work out to a very easy evening for him.
Use his pace as a way to save fuel.
Absolutely, and again, he has such a great buffer. It makes no sense to rush. So if it was up to me, I would just be using this guy for Lyco until the end of this race, until he decides to pit. But there goes Jaden. He's typically one that isn't, I don't want to say impatient, but I guess he just likes to go racing day in, day out, as you see them side by side.
I just want him to take his time. No mistakes at this point.
Me too, because this is not necessary, but you know what? It lends a good commentary and good racing for us to watch and spectate. So there you see him making the move on the inside. Very close.
Very close.
Jaden Harrison, ladies and gentlemen, the man who never disappoints.
So now I guess Brown has a reason to pit. The gap. Oh. The gap is wide enough, but it's all in the hands of good racing. Is that Mr. Charles there?
That does look like Mr. Charles with quite a demanding lead on the Daniel Velez. But what's funny is the driver who started on hard tires, he's in P4.
Yeah, but his tires are on the brink of giving up.
His virtual energy also is very low, 19%.
Very low. Yes.
So he's gonna end up having to pit. But if you look below him, Carol Aiden and Daniel Garcia as well, they I don't think we'll be able to make it to the ND though. So, will he go for tires when he goes into pit? I don't know. Let's see. Cigar, haven't heard from you in a minute. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still alive and kicking, just letting you guys do the talking, and I'm running the cameras for a few minutes.
Absolutely. Take your water break, bro. That's fine.
Everything looking good on track. Like you said, Miguel Bertrand has 17 down to 14% virtual energy when he crossed the line. The driver consuming around 3% every sector. So expect him to come down pit road within the next lap or two, potentially not going for tires and just taking fuel. He can definitely run that tank down to the bare bones if this is the strategy that Miguel Bertrand has been looking for. Overall, this will be very successful for them if they end up making it back into P4. But Carl Eaton is right behind, only 13 seconds back. Looking further down the order, Danitos Garcia is 1.1 seconds back from Carl Eaton as well. So Garcia doing a great job and good things through and through, currently running in P6. The driver was battling for P8 at one point in time, now challenging further forward, looking very good on the racetrack.
On the other, I am noticing Julian, Rohan, and Kurt Mott in the GT3s, so they continue their battle. They've been sticking together like glue, as the popular Jamaican artist Mr. Sean Paul would say, but for other reasons, obviously. But there is Rohan. It's just sitting in the slipstream and does make the move on Julian, but they've been back and forth all evening.
Not trying to say anything wrong, but Bertrand needs to pit. It's not looking good for him. He can keep the tires, but he needs to work on the fuel consumption. He's pushing, but he has approximately 1.5 laps remaining of his NRG.
Fair enough, because he, as Sagar said, it's about 4% per lap per sector. My apologies, or is it 3?
About 3 per sector, it looked like.
So yeah, he has about 1.25 quarter left at this point. So we watch to see what he can do. But as he said, we don't want a DNF. So will this be his in lap?
Has to be.
Has to be. And by the looks of it, that would push him down to about P9.
Yeah. And everybody else is a bit fresher.
Yep, and there he goes into the pits.
There he goes into the pit, yes.
Maybe listening in on the commentary booth, or maybe just saw it on his MFD, but
yeah.
Let's watch if he sticks to those hard tires. I would believe he would. I don't see why he'd only the one stint.
With 36 minutes remaining and knowing the length he could push, if he switched to mediums would be a decent choice at this time.
A slight miss of the pit box as the car gets jacked up and wheeled back into position, dropped back down for the refueling stage. Let's see if the car goes back up on the air jacks to get those tires changed. Miguel Bertrand, the driver, now in 8th position overall, tumbled down the order. Let's check in with Cam Mora and Javier Brando as they're separated by around half a second on the racetrack, currently running in P6 and P7.
And he did not go for tires. He's stuck with the hards.
Hard tire. Wow.
Yep. So he is going to the end. Hard tires, full tank of gas. He will not be stopping again. he has quite a couple of drivers who should be. Yeah, I believe everybody should be, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
let's see how this strategy will go.
yeah, so Seagar was right. His plan was to do a one only pit stop. One and only pit stop.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity. Let's see. Vote for his position. Will he make it back to P4? It's going to be a daunting task, if I do say so myself.
And unfortunately, on those hard tires, has 42 seconds to make up, to catch back up to Cam Moore. 88 seconds off the leader currently, pretty much around half a lap down, or at least a quarter of a lap down at this point in time.
Well, the thing is, Carol and Daniel definitely gonna have to pit. Javier as well, I believe, will have to pit. So 42 seconds just for fuel, and they're on worn medium tires. Assuming they didn't change, is Miguel on the better strategy? Because I think everybody on the medium is still on the original medium tire.
Yeah.
So what will that mean for them in the long run if they do decide to pit, unless they end up changing tires, which would give Miguel that few extra seconds to try and get away and hold his position, right? So is this, well, I'll take a vote right now. I'm going to say Miguel, you know what, I'm going to be the odd one out. I'm going to say Miguel will get P4. What are your guys' suggestions?
Well, he started. I don't know. Let's see how it runs. Maybe somebody has a smart strategy. Sometimes somebody might push. Hopefully, no mistakes happen. So
Absolutely.
Miguel Bertrand would have to make up 40 seconds over the next 33 minutes, or just under 33 minutes, and the math just doesn't work out in my eyes, unfortunately, for him to cash back up to P4. I think eighth place is where he's going to sit, unfortunately, unless the medium tires fall off of a cliff dramatically. And a game crash from Rohei Robinson, I believe that would be.
Oh no, that is pain. The Mercedes driver, he was looking so rapid here in practice and qualifying.
oh no,
that is pain and suffering and strife all in one. I hate to see it happen. Cam Moore, though, 3/10 off of Javier Brandao. These two will be fighting it out for the foreseeable future. And Cam, who's been rapid all season, hasn't found his footing this evening, but every point counts. He and Omar Scorsese are teammates, and they've been rapid, getting a P1 and P2 last week at Interlagos.
I just would like to say thanks to all the people watching the live on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. As well as a big shout out to the title sponsor, S Hotel.
And that is the GOAT, Mr. Patrick himself, for the reminder. Thank you there, brother. But you are right. Huge shout out to everybody listening. I hope this stream has been quite entertaining. It's been fun for me to watch. So we do hope and pray that you guys have been enjoying it just as much as we have.
The funny thing is that for the GT3s, the most, to my knowledge, the most reliable car is the fastest car, the Lexus. What do you think about that?
Of course, the Lexus is running very well. It's one of the quickest cars on track and running very well around Circuit de la Sarthe, that V8, doing amazing things to drag it into a straight line, leading over Cesar Barahona by 23.9 seconds currently. Cesar is only good enough for P2. Want to talk about Shannon Dotton for a second while we watch this battle between Javier Brando and Cam Mora. Shannon Dotton has promoted themselves up into third place, only 7 seconds less than behind Cesar Barahona, so running very well and consistent, gaining a lot of ground. Vicente da Silva, one of the drivers that's made up a lot of positions, also now running into P4. K Moss fell back into 7th position after taking tires, I believe, during their pit stop call. But looking at Javier Brando and Cam Moore, they're separated by next to nothing, coming down and towards corner number 1. The 161 trying to make a move around the outside, can't find the daylight at corner number 2, looking like he wants to be on the attack to get by the 88 Porsche. Really just can't find a way by currently. Brando and Mora's personal best times are Cam Mora with a 3:28.171, Brando with a 3:29.287. No current lap time data is available currently for those two drivers, but those are their best times out on the racetrack. This is the closest battle on track currently between Cam Mora and Javier Brando, separated by less than a second on the racetrack. And we've got, I believe that would be Casey Jackman getting sandwiched between the two LMP cars, making their way by very quickly, coming down the long stretch of road and into Mulsanne corner.
Garcia pits, we can see Bertrand going up to 7th place. What you guys think?
We'll have to wait and see who's on a 2-stop strategy and who's on a single stop strategy. I think most of the drivers on the grid are on for a single stop, but the GT3s will probably have to take a splash and dash to make it to the very end of their stint. Gap opens up to 1.1 seconds between Javier Brando and Cam Mora currently. Let's check out Julian Arce and DeVille Park as they're now glued together on the racetrack. That's a very tricky move coming out of Mulsanne for the hypercars.
And I'm here watching that Veteran, he has approximately 28 seconds to catch up to Garcia, which is in the pits right now, to gain that one position up.
Gap between DeVille Park and Julian Narcisse evaporates into thin air as Julian was able to get by the speeding McLaren. DeVille Park trying to challenge back on Narcisse, coming down in towards Indy next. Looks to the inside line, carrying a ton of speed. Barely made the corner. Julian Narcisse in 10th place, looking for a huge lunge. Couldn't quite make that one work, but makes it stick nonetheless. Things have settled down here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Mikel Charles leads over Daniel Velez, Omar Escorcia in P3. Carl Eaton in P4, Javier Brando in 5th, Cam Mora, Miguel Betran, and Danitos Garcia round out the 8 participants in the hypercar category. In the GT3 field, it's Jaden Harrison with a commanding 27-second lead over Cesar Barahona in 2nd. Shannon Dotton running in 3rd position, driving that blacked out BMW. Ricardo Swoby in 4th, Matt Titus in 5th. K. Moss now into 6th place in front of DeVille Park. Rohan Harris in 8th, Julian Narcisse in 9th, Vicente De Silva in 10th, Casey Jackman in 11th, Roger Keller in 12th, Rich Dyer in 13th, Phil Brown in 14th, and Rohei Robinson in 15th position. Looking at the battles on track, nothing really sticks out to me other than the Miguel Betran and Carl Eaton battle, separated by around a second and a half, now up to nearly 3 seconds, as they get slinking back and forth. Cam Mora and Javier Brando separated by 1.3 seconds. A couple yellow flags are thrown out on track, but nothing really to bark at too much. As the drivers are mostly settled down here on the racetrack. 5th place for Cam Moore. We're trying to shake things up and get by Javier Brando in 4th position. But again, the gap 1.9 seconds separating the two of them. Lap traffic, give it lap traffic, taken away also on this lap and separating them by a great deal of time. Just under 20 minutes remain on the clock, folks. The clock will strike midnight soon as we approach the near end of this epic historic event around Circuit de la Sarthe. Any closing comments or any predictions from you guys?
Currently, I'm watching at Mr. Veteran. He looks like he's cooking. But Aiton, which is behind him, he's catching up very quickly.
Now again, Miguel Bertrand is the driver that took hard tires and decided not to change them. And we'll see if it works out in their favor towards the end. Sixth place currently is where they stand, but as you said, Carl Eaton chasing down only 4 seconds off the good. Carl trying to change things up for Miguel Bertrand's progress here. He's 40 seconds back from Cam Moore, about where he was 2 laps ago or so. So no significant progress to be made behind Cam Moore or Javier Brandao. Badishi cheering on Mikhail Charles, the driver in first position, leading by 5.6 seconds ahead of Daniel Velez, who made a beautiful overtake to get around Omar Escorcia early on after Omar made a seemingly small or insignificant mistake. It was all that Daniel Velez needed, and he unleashed the beast with a 5-second gap himself. Looking back at the battle between Cam Mora and Javier Brandao, they're separated by just around 0.9 of a second on the racetrack, currently running in 4th and 5th respectively. And again, things have quieted down here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. K. Moss is 1.5 seconds back from Matt Titus and chasing him down pretty well right now. Driver's fast lap being a 4:02.5 versus a 4:06.6 from Matt Titus. So expect K. Moss to make up some positions before the end of the race. In fact, let's go look at K. Moss's run on Matt Titus and watch him brew up this BMW on BMW crime that's about to occur.
Oh, wow.
Michael Charles.
What happened there? He hit, or is it-
Disconnect.
Oh, no.
A disconnect for Michael Charles. I believe will force him to DNF from the race. That promotes Daniel Velez into P1 in front of Omar Escorcia. Cam Mora now into third. That makes his battle with Javier Brandao a little bit more exciting, but Brandao now into the pits to make his final stop of the race with 14 minutes remaining.
That makes Mr. Bitranen goes back to fourth.
Goes back to fourth, but can he make it to the end of the race with just under 14 left to go? Let's check out the virtual energy remaining for the leaders. Daniel Velez with only 9% remaining. Escorcia with 21. Mora with 25. Bertrand with 43 actually should make it to the end of the race, and you called it there. His climb back up to P4 looking pretty good right now. And it could be even better for Miguel Bertrand now that Daniel Velez is going to have to pit on the end of this lap with just 9% virtual energy remaining. Coming through the Porsche curves now. It is 86 seconds back to Miguel Bertrand, so perhaps he might not be able to lose out too much. But what about Omar Escorcia as he avoids pit lane in the number 51 with 21% virtual energy remaining? Now he will inherit the lead of this event. Cam Mora running in third position, trying to catch back up to Dan Velez, who gets dropped down off the jacks finally. Let's see where Cam Mora is on the racetrack, coming out of the Porsche curves now and into the Ford chicane. Daniel Velez is on pit out. We're going to have a battle between Cam Mora and Dan Velez.
Velez has 6% of NRG.
That should change when he crosses the line,
Okay.
because it shows just 6% on the tower, but there it is, 36% remaining now. Now can Escorcia make it to the end with just 17% remaining? Oh no, Shannon Dotton coming in for their final splash and dash. Should lose out a position to Ricardo Swoby. Where is Swoby on track? There he is. Shannon Dotton hits the accelerator pedal and gets out right in front of Ricardo Swoby. And they'll be separated by next to nothing right now. But Shannon Dotton definitely going to make it to the very end of this race. Performing very well and above their weight class, I believe. Shannon Dotton probably awarded the driver of the day in my books for positions gained and just overall strategy. Under 10 minutes remaining in this event, folks. We're down to the final 9:45 by the end of my spiel. And Ricardo Swoby not getting a great run of things coming onto the Mulsanne straight. Opens up the gap to around 3 seconds by the time we get down to the first chicane. Shannon Doughton doing very good. BTFKF saying, yes, Doughton, let's go push it. And Shannon Doughton is out there driving, like I said, above their weight class, currently running in P3 and escaping the clutches of Ricardo Swoby. Fastest laps looking about identical, 4 minutes, 4 seconds, and 37 milliseconds for both drivers currently. Silver Turkey wants to know about the fuel. Well, we get fuel for the hypercars. We don't necessarily get fuel for the GT3s. Looking at the virtual energy, Escorcia has 11% remaining, Velez with 33, Mora with 15, Bertrand with 32, and Brandao with 25. Do I still have you there, boys? Did my Discord crash?
No. We just observing this star driver here in the hypercar class, Mr. Bertrand. Pushing.
Mr. Bertrand has brought the gap down to around 36 seconds. To the car in front of him. Was around 42 just a few laps ago, but Miguel Bertrand is doing very well.
Omar has 5% remaining. I guess he might pit. And Mora has 8%. So, let's see how fast they get in and get out.
Very, very interesting for sure. Bertrand seems to be able to have called this one pitch perfectly so far. Has the most virtual energy of anybody in the top 5. So if anybody can make it to the end, it would be him. And Omar Escorcia, Daniel Velez, and Cam Mora all under that threshold. However, Dan Velez is actually ahead on track and is running around the same percentage. So perhaps Daniel Velez being the driver who made the right call also.
Sorry guys, I had some technicalities or technical issues over on my side, but just got them ironed out just in time to see that my pick Miguel Bertrand is in P4.
Yes.
And it seems as if Camilo Andres Mora might also exactly. I'm not sure what happened to Mikhail Charles. Maybe you guys can fill me in there.
Yeah. Maybe he had a connection problem or something.
Oof. And that is pain because his championship battle is dependent and his closest competitor has 2% of energy left there in P1. So that's...
Or he gets the DNF.
Yeah, that's gonna be... that's gonna be a close one between him and Andres. So... I mean, at this point, I believe you guys we should have maybe bet a little bit of money or food or something at this point.
Bet some Pappy's
but
chicken.
there.
That's close.
Omar is entering into the pits. And I'll keep updated what's happening there. See how quickly he can get out.
Wow.
But he just makes it into the seat. Andres as well. He's the next one that should be coming in.
Oh, he's out already. Wow.
That's the definition of a splash and dash.
Yes.
Andres as well just goes in.
Oh, K-Mas has to do a drive-through.
Kurt Moss with a drive-through. Whoa.
Omar Escorcia falls back to P2 behind Daniel Velez. After that pit stop, during that stop, you could see that Escorcia, that Daniel Velez was closing down coming through the Ford chicane when Escorcia was rolling out. So now 1.5 is the gap that Escorcia has to make up on Dan Velez.
This is close.
Again, looks like he's going to take it. Nope,
Bertrand and Moore is going to fight for third place. This is going to be the fight.
Ooh, and there he goes to take P3.
P3.
Still on those hard tires. Will he have more life than Camilo here? And this is contra and contra action, as a matter of fact, not teammates. But there goes Miguel. And Camilo will be chasing down that Valkyrie for the next lap to close out this race. I heard some talks of Popeye's chicken. What is the wager, brothers?
It's some nice Cajun fries.
Absolutely, and a biscuit.
And a biscuit. With a cup of Coca-Cola.
There we go. I'll take that Coke. But Andres now will be chasing down the likes of Miguel. And this is going to be the battle to watch.
Yes, the fight for third place.
Final podium position.
Podium. Being 0.7 of a second behind at this time, mistakes can happen. It's crunch time.
It is, but again, if they're both on the original set of tires, which I don't think that could it be for the mediums? Could they last this long?
The hard tire seems to be the Max Verstappen strategy, I should say.
The Max Verstappen Escobar strategy. Absolutely. And Camilo is not making the inroads that you'd have expected, but hey, this is gonna go down to the last minute. Daniel Velez looking very promising here.
And always remember that Bertrand was actually the driver that spun out on lap 1 or 2.
Exactly.
At the Porsche curves, fell back to nearly last position in the hypercar category and made up ground substantially on pace alone. Fast lap being a 3:27.3, nearly on pace with the hard tires with the rest of the field. Fastest lap, of course, going to Michael Charles, a 3:26.474, but unfortunately a disqualification or DNF for him due to some technical issues we could only imagine.
And what's sad for Mikhail now is the final round is the sprint race, and the points only go to 8 points. So, what are the implications? We have one drop race for the series, but we'll get to that eventually, because will this be one more lap of racing after this, gentlemen? Yes, it looks that way.
Yes, this will be the white flag lap as Barney the flag man waves it ferociously for us.
Barney the flag man. Strong guy. Hey, Patrick, don't be surprised if we pull in for commentary at some point.
DeVille Park and Matt Titus close on track between the two of them. This is the battle for 7th and 8th in the category, but we'll keep an eye on this battle and the battle between...
The battle, if you guys... Oh no, Mora's very close. This looks very tight. Mora is very close. This is a tight race.
And there you see Miguel does go defensive. Miguel with a right defensive strategy there. Let's see how they come out of the first chicane. Looks like he has some pace there though. But
even the dog is enjoying it.
We should bring him on as well.
Bring him on as well. The dog looks... This is going to be a very stiff race. A very stiff challenge here. Yes, the dog agrees. I'm telling him.
And there's Vincent De Silva. Gets up to the ring very
dodging
quickly.
Out of the way very quickly as he sees the battle for P3 underway. Flashy of the headlights from the caddy behind, trying to find the straight line speed, coming down in towards the Mulsanne corner. Can't find it there. Now the next opportunity will be at Indy and the Porsche curves, but I don't think that the caddy can catch up. Let's check in with the leader as they're about to cross the line. This will be Daniel Velez's race to throw away. 2.5 seconds in the lead as they are about to cross the line in just a few seconds time.
Ooh, guys, if you haven't noticed as well, Omar Scorsese 1% of energy now. Will he get a penalty? And if he does, will that relegate him outside of the podium?
And gives... Ooh, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, we'll watch it to see what happens now as they come around. And that is Daniel Velez to cross the finish line in P1. Omar does finish as well, right on the line. With
0.4%.
What a finish there.
Big moment there between Bertrand and Cameron as traffic got in the way there. Miguel Bertrand saves it somehow, some way, and gets back onto the black stuff. Just barely missed that action, but that'll be Cam Mora falling forward into 3rd position. Bertrand back down into P4. Escorcia, like you said, with 0.4% VE remaining when they cross the line, and this will be done and dusted there between P3 and P4. Miguel Bertrand still...
Can we get a replay of what happened there, man? That was so sad. Oh, wow.
Carl Eaton crosses the line in P5. Javier Brandao in 6th. Danitos Garcias in P7. That'll round out the 7 hypercar finishers, and it'll be Jaden Harrison out in P1 for this event. Cesar Barahona in P2. Shannon Dotton in 3rd place.
And Dotton is driver of the day. Drove well, very well.
Who did he suggest?
Dotton for the GT3, because I think he was almost at the back, and he fights his way forward. But Bertrand, oh boy, that man drive, you know.
Do you want to show the replay from my side, or are you gonna do it?
Go for it.
Cigar?
Go for it. Press play.
It is showing now. Let me know if it's seeing.
Yeah. Oh, I saw what. Oh my. Damn.
So there he goes. Loses it slightly. Did he tap the back of that GT3? What a dramatic finish that was. Andres moves up into P3. Let's just take one more look at that from Andres's point of view. See, he's coming around. Ooh. So they
Oh,
did
he
make
did
contact,
make contact, yeah.
but I can't blame Andres for that one,
He was all the way in the
which is
corner.
just pain, man. So he was going through the Porsche curves. Ouch. Did save it though, cause that wall was close.
Yeah, very, very close. It would have been. It, it would have been sad if he beat touch that wall.
Trust me. What a race, guys. What are your thoughts?
Wow. This track is a very, 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 a very fun track. However, if you don't have consistency at all, this track rewards you with pain if you don't have that sort of focus. But great driving by the guys. The GT3 class has done well, as well as the hyper class. The hyper class was more fun to the end though. Had a lot of back and forths and some strategies were played out effectively. So what
Absolutely.
what track or and when will be the next or the final round?
Hold on.
That's gonna be at Silverstone, but I think Cigar will get to that at some point.
Hold
Okay,
on,
great.
folks, while we go to back to the calendar, and we'll be right back for driver interviews. Stand by for driver interviews. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Now, ready to talk to the drivers. We are in the broadcast booth. Let's go ahead and grab our third place finisher, Shannon Dotton, in the GT3 category. Shannon, you had an amazing run of this event, working your way back from, I believe, P7 all the way up into P3. Tell us how you did it.
Man, it was a tough race, a lot of focus, but I later showed out my team, St. Racing Guild, especially Phil, had a couple pointers in practice this week, so that really helped. Unfortunate for the race that he had, but hopefully we could pull back in the finale, and the whole team will be on top running good.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff from you, Shannon. Driving that BMW, you seem very comfortable in it, running pretty much all season long in it so far. You know, talk to us about the characteristics and the handling around Circuit de la Sarthe.
Well, this track was actually a little tricky for me, but I found it had a good bit of stability, especially when you're entry and exit, so at least that helped me to keep some consistency for this race, so that was good.
Right on. Amazing stuff. Is there anybody else that you'd like to shout out, or anybody that you'd like to thank before we grab our next driver?
Hey, showed up BDK, the trap. I saw she was active, so I appreciate the support.
Cheering you on the entire time there, brother. Well, thank you very much for joining us in the broadcast booth. We'll talk to Cesar Barahona next.
Yes, sir.
Well, before you go, oh, he's gone. But I just want to give a big shout out to Shannon. He's a new racer to Sim Racing and new to the JSRA, and he's just been epic since we met him to now. So just a huge shout out to him, his team, and even his fans. So himself, anywhere in the world, over in Barbados. But yeah.
Grabbing Cesar Barahona next. Cesar coming home in P2.
Besides JD, all was saving fuel in the back, but I think it was a mistake or a touch or lose control in the second chicane, I think.
Cesar, you're in the broadcast booth right now, talking to myself and Stephen. We're just talking about your race. P2, not too shabby to come home with, huh?
Yeah, in the beginning, seeing the Jaden's pace and the quality, I knew that he was flying, and I don't have the pace. But in the calculation for the race, I see that if I save 1 or 2 laps per stint, I think was a chance to be ahead of him. But at the end, it was very to save that amount of fuel. I think in the whole race, I was looking to the box, to the window that has the saving, all the parameters, and all the race was telling me that was a risk for not finishing the race, but I was trying my best, but at the end have to stop for the second time, and Jaden simply was ahead. I think the P2 was not expected, was good, because the last week I don't have much time to train, and I think that it was unexpected, and I will take it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your explanation and race details, Mr. Barahona. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out, or anybody that you'd like to thank before we move on to grabbing Jaden Harrison?
Yes, I want to thank my wife that always was supporting me in this hobby, and thank to the team that let me race in this platform. Like I say in other races, I come from console, and I think the console and all the saving strategies that has Gran Turismo, I think that helped me also in this race with the saving, and also thanks to the sponsors, PTY, Sim Racing, Panama Racing Simulators, Alejandro Mechanic, Afro Photos, that always supports the team and let us race in this platform. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barahona. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful night, brother.
Thank you.
Grabbing Jaden Harrison next, the driver who walked away with P1, driving the lonely Lexus on the racetrack, came away with a very commanding lead at the very end of things. Jaden, how'd your race go?
Pretty uneventful. I had a battle with Phil for maybe one lap, and yeah, but I think I was a little scared at the end because Cesar almost did the one-stop strategy and he could have taken the win, or well, not really taken the win, but overtake and have a little race there. But I think he was short by like a few liters.
Yeah, Cesar was just telling us it came down to the wire for him to make that one-stop race work out in his favor. Had he had saved another couple of liters or so yourself, you knew the strategy coming into this race then?
Yeah, I knew the one-stop could work if you did it a lot, but I mean, if you have the pace, there's no point in trying it. So yeah, I mean, I think also he didn't take tires. A lot of people didn't take tires. And yeah, they started to fall off at the end.
Yeah, very interesting strategies from the GT3s. Very different than what we saw in the hypercar category for sure. Yourself starting off in the hypercar category, were you used to the traffic that you were facing here?
Yeah, I mean, just move and try make them go as quickly as possible.
Copy that, brother. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out or anybody that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, everyone for coming today. Sponsor S Hotel and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully next race weekend we can finish strong with a big grid and a big race. I mean, what's the next track? Silverstone, everyone should know that, so maybe we'll be close.
Hopefully so. Congratulations on another victory for yourself, and hopefully you can make the hat trick happen at Silverstone as well. Thank you very much, Jaden Harrison, for joining us in the broadcast booth. We'll talk to you next week. Now that wraps it up for the GT3 category. Let's talk to Cam Mora, Omar Escorcia, and Daniel Velez. Cam Mora up first. Now, Cam Mora joins us in the broadcast booth. Now, Mora, talk to us about your race and your strategy. Taking a late pit stop call may have costed you there, but you ended up making it work. Tell us about it.
Yes, hey, hello to everyone. Well, since the beginning I saw that I didn't have the pace to be with the top guys, and the caddy was too slow here. I don't know if you were able to see that on the final laps, but the Aston just pulled me like half a second in every straight. So yeah, was kind of disappointed. It is what it is. So I went straight to fuel saving since the beginning. And when I finished like my first pit stop, once again I forgot just to kick the tires, so I lost 10 seconds again there. And well, I went out and started fighting with a Porsche. I don't remember his name, sorry. And well, I thought that I had the fuel to go to the end, so that I started pushing, but I realized that it was just one lap short and started like saving like hell, but I couldn't make it. And once again, the pit stop, in the last pit stop it just started in the last lap. I was entered too much fuel, and well, that's why I just came back just right behind Miguel. But yeah, almost made it work to a normal P3.
It was a very exciting battle on that last lap. Talk us through what was going through your head when that was going down.
Well, yeah, just as I mentioned, I saw my top speed was not present on these cars, so I said to myself that I needed to do it just in the last part, in the Porsche chicanes. So yeah, I just, before like entering the last lap, I just wanted to make sure that I was on his slipstream, because as soon as we were on the straights, he pulled me off like 4 tenths, even me being just behind him. So well, on that last lap, I saw the GT3, so I said to myself, that's my card. That's what I have to play for, because just my top speed wasn't there. And well, I don't know. I already watched like the replay, and well, I don't know what to say, but I was able to see, well, Miguel just really like stayed behind that GT3. So I said to myself, well, my lack of top speed was because also I had a lot of downforce. So I said to myself, I can go out, because if he's staying behind the GT3 with my much more downforce, I can go on the outside on the first Porsche chicane. But looks like, I don't know, I feel that he reacted to my move, and just and also because he was about to hit the GT3 car, so he just like steered to the left, and I was already like committed to the corner, and well, we crashed there. I left because at the beginning I thought that was my fault, but I said to myself, well, let's finish third and let the stewards decide that, because I'm seeing the replay, well, I don't see any I could have done anything different. Yeah, I'm sorry to Miguel, that was my fault. Let's see what the stewards say.
Right on. Thank you very much for the detailed explanation there, Andreas. Really appreciate it a lot. Anybody that you'd like to shout out, or anybody that you'd like to thank before I let you go?
Yes, just once again, thank you for the organization, to JSRA, amazing championship, to the sponsors, to Steven, all the great work they're doing here. And well, shout out to Daniel and Omar. Once again, good chunk of points for the team's championship. And well, heading into Silverstone with possibly fighting for the win once again.
Right on. Thank you very much, Andreas. Really appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful night, brother.
Thanks to you. Have a great night, Gustav. Bye-bye.
Let's grab Omar Escorcia next. Omar, you had a pretty roller coaster ride at Circuit de la Sarthe, fighting for P1 here and there, was even leading the race for a couple of laps. Talk us about your race.
I was just trying. I knew this race was gonna be hard because the Aston has a lot more top speed than the Ferrari. I had to set up my car to keep up with the Aston, but I was hitting like 336, and the Aston was hitting like 345. So it was just pretty much impossible to keep the car behind me on the straight. I decided to go with a different strategy than the Astons, but it didn't work out at the end.
It worked out in some regards. You came home in P2 after fighting with those Valkyries that managed to clinch the win. of the event, or would have clinched the win of the event. Well, excuse me, no. I believe Dan Velez was in an Aston Martin. I apologize. I was thinking of Michael Charles, who took a DNF. I apologize yet again. But yeah, it was a hard-fought battle in that Ferrari. You're definitely down on top speed, unfortunately. Had to do something different than the rest of the field, and it did work out in your favor. P2 was as good as it could have come.
Yeah, the idea was going P1. Mikel definitely deserved to win that race, so it was really unfortunate for him that he got, I don't know what happened, I think it was internet issues. So he for sure deserved that one, but yeah, it was unlucky, so I mean, I don't want to say this, but good for me. So yeah, next race Silverstone, on track, and I think my car is good as well on that track, so looking forward to it.
That's great to hear, brother. Looking forward to it. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out or anybody that you'd like to thank?
Daniel and Miguel and Andres, we had another top 4 podium on today's race. Yeah, congratulations to Daniel. I think this is her first win. I don't remember the last time he won here on LMU, but yeah, congratulations to him. He was flying today, so yeah, for sure he deserved it.
Right on. Great sportsmanship all around. Thank you very much for joining us, brother. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
And last but not least, we have the man, the myth, the legend. It is Daniel Velez driving the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Daniel, talk to us about your race for a little bit.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me here. Really happy of finally scoring a win on this. My race was really fun. I did really enjoy the car. The car was driving amazing. The only thing that I was mad about was that Michael's luck with the lapped guys was just insane. It's like if he was controlling all of the lapped guys for him to be perfect, because for me I had to brake and wait for them the entire turn. So I was going further and I was a bit frustrated, but it was fun.
It's amazing how far you've come, getting your first victory in LMU with the JSRA. It's been an amazing time to watch you grow and how much you appreciate winning this race. Now tell us what it means for your team and how far you guys are going to go for Silverstone, the final race.
Well, my team, we missed the first 2 races, so we were not able to race neither Imola or Spa. And we just started at Sebring, and at Sebring I crashed really bad, so that was a really bad race for me. And at Interlagos I was touched, and it was sent me really far away. But so at this moment it will be just enjoy. I do not want to interfere directly with the championship. For example, today I think that you guys could see that I was kind of backing up in the first laps with Michael and Omar, because I didn't want to kill any of them and to miss the chance for them to fight for the championship.
Very great sportsmanlike conduct coming out of you, Daniel Velez. Amazing stuff. Is there anybody that you'd like to shout out or anybody that you'd like to thank going forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks to Stephen for doing all this hard work. Thank to you for the commentating. Thank all of the sponsors really for be supporting us on this league. We will keep growing, and you can see that really great drivers are starting to go better and to improve. And thanks a lot to my family and to my wife, who are always supporting me.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us in the broadcast booth, Daniel. Have a great night, brother.
Thank you. Same for you guys. Take care.
And last but not least, let's grab Miguel Betran, who had a very close call at the very end of the race. Let's actually jump forward to the last lap and see if we can get a glimpse of what happened to Miguel Bertrand here coming into the final couple of corners. Miguel, talk to us about your race and your alternate strategy.
That was a shame on the last part. It was an incident because I expected BMW going the normal race line. It was left side, so I expected he's still on the right side. I turned to the left, but Andres was much faster and he hit me in the rear and pushed me up. And I tried the strategy, a different strategy. I was very off of the pace, so I take another strategy and see what happened. And I see in the final part of the race, I was a little faster than the medium tires, but in the first stint, I just spin and a big spin, and my tire was destroyed, so I had to stop very early and change the tires.
Oh man, what an unfortunate amount of circumstances for you, but still came home with P4. Congratulations. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank or anybody that you'd like to shout out?
Not today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Take care.
Good night.
And any closing words from the broadcast team, either Steven or Patrick?
Well, I just want to say a big shout out to everyone, all the competitors, all the viewers. Thank you for watching and also giving us an entertaining race. I must say thanks to you guys, Cigar and Mr. Laughman. Where is him? He's gone missing. Just want to say keep watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, follow, share as much as possible. A big shout out to SO Hotels. This is our main sponsor, and that's about it. See you guys on the next amazing race, which will be a sprint race, right? If I'm correct?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. And what will be the track? Silverstone, right?
Yes.
Great. I will be taking part in that race, so I mightn't be having fun with you guys in the commentary box. I'll be out there sweating, hopefully.
Copy that. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and check out S Hotel, our title sponsor of this event. Thank you very much to S Hotels for providing us with all the cash we needed for the prizes for the drivers. It's closing time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for staying tuned. You guys are a lovely crowd. Nowhere else I'd rather be on my Friday afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you're watching this broadcast, whether it's live or in the future. Really appreciate it if you just hit the thumbs up button. As always, folks, it's been a great time, but it's time to close things out. Have a wonderful night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye.